Good Monday morning, everybody, and thanks for listening to my musing this week. And my musing is today and has been for the last couple of weeks, been about beginnings. If you're familiar with the start of Genesis, it says something like, in the beginning, when God created the world, the earth was a formless void. In Hebrew, that's tohu vabohu, which is kind of fun to say. A formless void, and the Spirit of God, the breath of God, the wind of God hovered over the deep. You can think of these as like dark, chaotic, stormy waters. And it's in that context that God begins to create. Classic theology has said that God creates from nothing, ex nihilo. Yet in Genesis, there's something there. There is a chaotic, surging sea or a void, and that's what God begins to work with. I think oftentimes we try to create out of nothing, that we want a perfect business model, we want a perfect grant proposal to get started. Yet, generally, from my perspective, we start with chaos. We start with an underlying problem that we're seeking to solve. And despite the best business plans and despite our reports to session that try and anticipate the challenges that we'll face, the most important thing is simply that we begin. Whenever we at Woods started live streaming due to COVID, we had no idea really until about Wednesday or Thursday that was what we were going to do. Nancy and I were able to put on the service, and man, were we scrambling. Man, was it chaotic. But the important thing, I think, was that simply we began. Over the last couple of weeks, there have been protests in the news. Surely you've seen the stories about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, among others. And at Woods, we've been talking about what do we do to move forward? How do we come up with a strategic plan? What kind of curriculum do we need? What have we been doing? What haven't we been doing? What do we need to do? And if you're thinking about some of those things too, I think it's good to know out of the chaos we are called simply to begin. If you started with free downloads on Amazon or Netflix of Just Mercy or something like that, it doesn't have to be the best resource. You don't have to be the most educated person. You don't have to foresee every challenge that might be coming down the pike. We're called to begin that work. And however we begin it, it's good that we've begun. Know that God is with us in those beginnings, even when they're chaotic, and know that God goes with us whether we've anticipated the right challenges or not. So however you're seeking to move forward, it's my hope and it's my prayer that we're moving together as a church, we're moving together as a country, and there is a lot of hope to that, even if it's coming out of a very clearly chaotic situation. So those are my thoughts. I'd be happy to hear yours. You can email me at jsnowden@woodschurch.org or call or text. I look forward to hearing the new things that you are beginning and the ways that you're moving forward. Have a great week. I'll see you next Monday.